Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa and today I'm bringing you the first episode of my new little mini series, which is talking to you about all my experience about market makes, so crocheted items for markets and items on consignment. Now, I've had about a year's worth of experience now, which isn't a great bit of knowledge, but let me tell you, I've learned a lot along the way and I would love to share that with you. Now, of course, if you have anything to share, please do so in the comments because I'm sure we'd all like to know as well. But through this little mini series, each and every episode, I will bring you a different item. So I'll be showcasing an item. So, I'll tell you about my experience with it and, how successful, I've been, and hopefully you can add it to your inventory. You may already have it in your inventory and have another way of doing it, but I'll just be sharing with you what I've been doing in this instance. Now, what I have found, and this will be a general little section for the very first episode, is that with most markets, the smaller items sell quicker. So don't think that you have to go big or go home. You actually need to be mindful of your community as well, what time of the year it may be. So for example, if you're crocheting around Mother's Day, maybe you want to concentrate more on what the mothers would be more interested in. Same goes for Father's Day. If you're doing a Christmas type show, like a market stall, by all means, have the Christmas theme incorporated in your makes. The same goes with Halloween, if you celebrate Halloween where you are. And throughout the year, of course, there are other items which you can have in your inventory, which will, of course, be broader, which will accommodate every time of the year. But if you're mindful of, as we said, your community and the time of the year, so for example, you wouldn't be crocheting all your beanies in the peak summertime because they probably wouldn't sell as quickly, because beanies would be something I suggest that you do because they are a smaller item. Now, why I say smaller is that, first of all, they're cost effective. So people can actually afford them. To buy them, if they're interested in something handmade, they probably would go to a smaller item first. So I wouldn't be creating huge blankets and hoping that you could sell them for hundreds of dollars or quite a bit of money, and they might be sitting there for a while, unfortunately disappointing you. So the smaller the item, the quicker you'll be able to make it as well. So that's very, very important. Your time is something that you need to consider, but we also need to be mindful that unfortunately some people don't appreciate handmade as much as we do, but they will learn along the way. We'll start educating them. The other little tip that I have for you is, excuse me, always use the best quality yarn that you can, because you want to be known for your product, for it being durable, long lasting. You don't want it to fall apart. So create it as if you would for a loved one. Just because you're selling it to someone, it doesn't mean that it has to be of an inferior quality. So that's a very, very important tip to always keep in the back of your mind. So that leads me to, how do we purchase the best quality yarn then for the project that we want to create? On sale. That is the biggest tip of all. Look out for yarn when it's on sale, and then go and purchase as much as you can afford at the time and start creating your little items. Because if you want to create inventory, it's so much easier to have it ongoing throughout the year than saying, oh my goodness, I have a market next week, and then scrambling and tumbling and falling over and being disappointed because you don't have what you need at hand, and then you go and pay double the price of what you normally would. It just won't work that way. You won't be happy. You won't want to create anymore. It won't bring you the joy that you're hoping to, because it is just another part of our journey as crocheters, if you want to go down that path, that is. And I certainly did experiment with that, and I've caught the bug, so I'm quite enjoying the process of creating things to sell. So this is why I'm saying, get your yarn at sale price at every opportunity that you can. Now, the other thing you might want to collect along the way will be, ways to package your items, because presentation is key. We want to make sure that it's attractive to the person who comes to our stall or sees it online. Or another way that I have been able to sell my product, and at a very good price at that, because there are no overheads involved in that. I don't have to pay for a stall, for example, is on consignment. And what that means is basically I have been approached, as an example, by the school PNC, and they've asked me to crochet earlier in the year for Mother's Day and currently for Father's Day. And that's what I'll be showcasing for you today, the item that I made for Father's Day stall. On consignment just basically means I was at liberty to make as many of the item that I wished. They would sell it at a certain price. I would sell it to them at a cheaper price, so they would have a profit margin that they were happy with. If anything didn't sell, I would take it back. So they weren't out of pocket in any way. I got to keep any inventory for a future stall or, on consignment sale. So it was a win-win for everybody. But so far been quite successful, and fingers and toes crossed that continues. So that's another very good way of, introducing crochet into the community for sale, because, you're not really, worried about having to make the money on the day for what you outlay for a stall. And sometimes they can go up as high as $150, start off at $50. They're the examples that I've been, when I ask around for a stall just for the day, they're the amounts that I've been told of late. So I'm guessing that's about market value at the moment. Now do remember that I am in Australia and I'm speaking in Australian dollars, so whichever part of the world you're in, you'll be able to convert it in whatever your money is there. Now the other thing that you need to be mindful of is that sometimes we're not as successful as we wish to be, and that's okay. You build resilience and character, but don't let it dissuade you or put you off continuing with your craft and your mission to be able to sell into the community. It's just part of the journey after all. So please make sure that that doesn't upset you in any way. I do have a few little examples to go with the item that I made today for you. So I will begin to show you the item and then how I create, like what yarn I used and hook, and how I've packaged it in the end, and how I'll be sending it off tomorrow. In actual fact, that's why I thought I'd better make this first episode for you today. So it is for the Father's Day stall, as I said, and I've been making these awesome can cozies. Now these can cozies are very, very durable and very, very useful, in that when we're at a barbecue or at a party, generally when we have the cans of drinks, they're in a big bucket of ice or maybe in the fridge. When we pull them out, they usually have some water on them. With this, you get to hold it and your hand, you don't get all wet. When you put it down, it doesn't leave a wet mark anywhere. So it's a win-win in so many ways. It keeps your drink cooler, I'm guessing. Don't quote me on that, but I can't imagine that it wouldn't be useful in that way as well. But it definitely is absorbent and it keeps the moisture off your bench tops, and I think that is a bonus. Being someone that's always wiping up the drips, I absolutely love that. And it does, pretty up your can, and they're very easy to wash. Make sure that if you're using a yarn for something like a can cozy, that you do use hand wash yarn. You can just chuck them in one of those little laundry bags, put them in your washing machine, hang them out to dry, and they're done. So I'm just going to pop this little one down. I'll talk about the yarn and the hook I used, and then how I created the pattern. Very, very simple. Now on YouTube, of course, and in books, you'll be able to find a can cozy, recipe, a pattern that you can either follow, read, or watch. But I'll show you the way that I make mine, and it is one of the most simple and quickest projects you'll ever be able to make. And the other thing I was going to say earlier is that I'm not sure about you, but I crochet daily. So when you have to factor in your time in the pricing of your items, remember that we're going to crochet regardless. So our time might be somewhere where we maybe cut down the price a little bit to accommodate the market, but definitely you have to put in the price of your yarn and everything else that you use to present your item. So for all of my can cozies to date, I've been using my Ogo yarn. Now the beauty of this yarn is that it is a bulky weight yarn, and it is 100% acrylic, and it produces a very good fabric. So, you know, it's perfect for this project because it sits up on its own and it doesn't flop down. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, the Ogo yarns do come in the 5 different colors. The one that I've got is the, as I said, the bulky number 5 yarn. And I was very, very lucky, guys, to be able to purchase these at $1.50 an Ogo, and I get 8 Ogos out of one of these. So that is very, very, it's a very good start already when it comes to making a little bit of money from it. Now with this yarn, I have been using my 5mm hook, beg your pardon, my 6mm hook for all of them to create the size can cozy that I want. Now, if you wish to use a different type of yarn, for example, a cotton that might be a little bit thinner, like it might be a DK weight, all you need to do is adjust your hook size and possibly how many circles you start off with. So I'll show you what the pattern looks like now for the can cozies that I make, and how you can vary them slightly just to, you know, give them a different appearance if you need to. So what you do, guys, is you make a magic ring. If you don't like a magic ring, experiment with how many chains you need to start off and join it in a circle, possibly 3, I'm guessing, but that's totally up to you. But remember, we're using, with our bulky weight yarn, a 6mm hook. So you do your 12 double crochets, and this is all US terminology. Now, a little tip that you may already know, but if you don't, what I do for all of my, when I create any circle, whether it be for a can cozy or a beanie, for example, for my can cozies, I always chain up 2, and that doesn't count as a stitch. So just make sure that there's no gap when you chain up, and then I do 12 double crochets. When I join it into the first double crochet, not into the top of the 2 chains. And then I continue to increase in the second row, so I end up with 24 plus the 2 starting chains, which don't add up to anything. Then to make it sit up nicer for the next row, and now we've stopped increasing, so we're up to 24 stitches, I go into the back loop only and I crochet 1 whole row, and then for the next 5 rows, so it's 6 rows in total of double crochet, I just continue on top of each and every stitch, so 24, and then I always end with 1 row of single crochet, which makes sure that it sits nicely on top and it grips the top of the can. Now, if you're wondering why I've stopped here and haven't gone all the way up, remember that we need to put the can to our mouth, and we don't want to be putting our mouth on the material. Now, you can make these as plain as you like, and I will show you some that have no design on them. They're just double crochet all the way up. This one, I've added a little puff stitch. You can add that in any row or as many rows as you wish. You don't have to do that at all if you don't want to. You can do it in stripes, and I'll show you stripy ones as well. I've done some in the cross stitch just to vary it up a little bit. I have one here which actually has the window stitch, and you'd be wondering, oh my goodness, does that actually stand up? Yes, it does, because as I said, this row with a single crochet is what I think keeps it in place beautifully. This is one of my favorite ones, so I'm keeping this one. So what I do then is I package them so that they look attractive to, you know, the buyer. You can't just simply, you know, take them off the can and say, here you go, there you go, purchase this. You have to make it appealing as well. Remember, we are selling our product and we want to make it look as beautiful as possible. There we go, popped it back in, and it does stand very, very nicely on its own. Now, what I use to package them, I'll show you that just in a moment. Oh, actually, I'll show you that first, and then I'll show you how I package them. So all of my, so there's a little, the bag it's a clear bag like that, and then it opens up and you pop it in. So basically I buy these packs, and these are in Australian dollars $2.99, so just under $3, and there's 45 in a pack, which is quite economical. Now the size for these is, and let me pop my glasses on, they are, so to fit the can cozy perfectly, there they are there, guys, they're 13.3 by 18.6 millimeters. So they're, as I said, they're this size here. I'm sorry, I haven't converted it to inches, and I do apologize for that. So what I do then is I pop the can cozies, beg your pardon, oops, glasses, inside, And then what I use on the back to seal it is a sticker. Now, you can either have them themed like I have with this one, Father's Day stickers, and here they all are here on a roll. Now these rolls are so easy to purchase. Just go onto Amazon and you will find as many as you need. If you type in stickers or envelope seals, you'll be able to find them. So if you put envelope seal, you'll get the round ones. You can either put in, Father's Day, Christmas, or just envelope seals, sticker envelope seals, and you will find a myriad of them. I actually went on today. Today is the 30th of August 2023, and they were priced from as little as $6.99 all the way up to like $20 odd for like 5,000 stickers, 2,000 stickers, 1,000 stickers, depending on, if they're shiny gold ones or plain. And these were $6.99, which I thought was amazing. Excellent price, and they are absolutely gorgeous. So that's something you might want to consider. Now, if you purchase your stickers elsewhere, which I do as well. So for example, I've got these little books here. I thought they were very, very sweet. And also these ones. So I actually used this book for Mother's Day to seal them all. So, the back would look a little bit different. There's the one with a little koala on it. And there's the one with a little Father's Day sticker on it. So I'll just show you a couple more examples before I say goodbye to you. What you might want to consider as well, depending on the yarn that you've got, you might want to do your footy team colors. Now see that one? That's just double crochet all the way up, but I just did a little stripe in there. You might want to do your school colors, whatever, you wish to do is totally up to you, or just any random colors. But remember, have them appropriate to the project, like what time of the year you're making them for, or who your audience is, or who your customer is. So be mindful of that. Now I have a few more that are with the there we go, the little window stitches, a few more there. And then we have, I love this one is it's got the cross double crochet. And then we have them even just in the plain colors, as I showed you this original one, just with a puff stitch in them, just to add a little bit of interest, a little bit of a detail. There you go, one with 2 rows. Very, very simple touch. Doesn't take much time at all. Here's another 2. Whoops. And I can show you so many more. There's one with more stripes. They're just little examples for you. Now, the beauty with the Ogo yarn I found for myself is that it's very simple to color coordinate, because all the colors do. There's those 2 guys. So they're my examples for you of the can cozies. They are actually very good sellers at markets because, as we said, they're quite priced at a price that most people can afford. So for example, I will let you know that I am actually selling these for $5, but the PNC will be selling them for $8. So they're making a $3 profit, which is awesome. I believe you could even get up to $10 depending on where your market is situated and who the customer is. And the minute that people have value, know the value of handcrafted, they would absolutely love it. Now guys, there's one thing that I forgot to show you. Apologies for that. This little insert is that. So that way people that don't actually know what it is and aren't asking will know that there's a can that goes in there. So it'll give them a clue of what's in there. So apologies I didn't show you that earlier. Now these can be found on Pinterest. You can purchase, you can either pay for a design, you can download free ones. They're available everywhere. So you just cut them out, pop them back in there. I must give thanks to Rose at Rose Likes Crochet for introducing me to these. She actually was using a version of these for her cup cozies, and ever since then I thought, what an amazing idea. So thank you so very, very much, Rose, for sharing that with us, because as we all know, sharing is caring. That's why I'm sharing it with you as well. So please be mindful that that is an added touch that would definitely complete the package. So very, very simple, very, very easy, and very, very quick project, and I think that this will be a successful one for me. So I know that this episode went a little bit longer than all the others will, because it was more of an introduction. So if any of you do make any, crochet any can cozies, and you are looking at either gifting them or selling them. I wish you every success with them. And let me tell you, every recipient that I know of has been very, very happy, and I can't see why they wouldn't be. I have a whole set in my home for when my friends and family come over, and I absolutely love them. So thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with me. At this stage, I will say goodbye for now, and I'll say take care, and I shall see you all again in another video. Bye bye, everybody.